Start.
Well, here I am in Africa talking on this very solemn occasion, and it's very hard for a sibling to lose another sibling. The sense of huge chapter closing is immense, and it's so sad and frustrating to feel what James and the girls are going through. It's even more personal. On the day, probably at the same time this huge tragedy happened to Diana, Louis and I randomly chose, after 3-4 years of going for a horse ride through a game park, looking at zebras, lions, there were lions but in cages, and elephants running wild, rhinos, and I even got, my horse and myself got attacked by African bees, which are very vicious. I got a bee sting which swelled up my leg. Now this brings me back to the point of interest. Diana, if you're listening, girls, if you're listening, back in 1969, on our Easter holiday, Diana chose to do horse riding for a whole day, which is quite interesting, and my bum was getting quite sore when I was out with Louis, which reminded me of his trip to Gisborne all those years ago. I think we even went to see Goldfinger, or Ben-Hur, which are both very risky movies for parents to take young impressionable kids to. But back to the horse riding. There's some controversy about Diana getting blisters on her bottom and holding up a mirror to see these blisters up close, and the mirror cracking. I don't know if it's Alice in Wonderland type cracking type mirror, just didn't like what it saw, or she accidentally dropped it and it was a more physical thing. Who knows? I remember there was a lot of teasing about this blister incidents back then, and that's why I remembered it so vividly, and that's why I told Louis about it while we were out horse riding, getting extremely sunburnt. Mum, I didn't take suntan lotion. I'm sorry, all my arms and stuff are all burnt. Therefore the shirt I'm wearing, it's just what happens. You should have been there, Mum. And another thing I remember vividly about growing up with Diana is her Twiggy pose, hanging on a tree in the Esplanade when she was Girl of the Week, Tribune Girl of the Week. Us Mortons make beautiful people. And I think we're all beautiful in more than one way. Diana, in the newspaper, said she spent a lot of time with the Salvation Army counselling all the victims at the quake. I think Mortons are very giving, and Diana was more giving than most. And my heart goes out for James, Amanda, Katie and Sophie. I just can't imagine the anguish. And Louise, Chris, Mum, it's times like this I miss being in New Zealand the most. Thanks very much for taking this video recording. I'll catch you later.